I missed out a few things in that video. So when I watched the video, I kind of realized that I missed out things. I wanted to say that when I found out that my sister was claiming autism, there was something that my sister was asking me, why don't I try and claim for dyslexia? Like, I didn't do it because I actually wanted the money. I wanted to see if I could do the money and what I'd have to like say to try and get this sort of disability allowance. I mean, technically, I am going through a lot of stuff, and me believing that I'm God is considered a mental illness by many people. So can I claim on something like that? I didn't want to see it because I wanted the money, nor did I do it because I wanted that. Did I feel like I deserved the money? But I wanted to see if I could. And when I was filling out the form, the questions were like, how does this affect your daily life? What do you struggle to do? And the form was ridiculous because for me it felt like I could have easily lied about everything written on there. My sister even told me, oh, just lie on the form, just say whatever you want. And I didn't feel right about doing that. I didn't feel comfortable about doing that. And I went to the GP, and I'm sure it was related to this form in some ways. I can't even remember what it was, but I know that there was a woman who was trying to claim benefits, and I knew she was in this. I don't even know where it was. It's like a memory that I have, but I have no idea. I think it was in London. I don't know when this was. It could have been a very long time ago, actually. I don't know. But this woman, she had two people helping her stand up, helping her walk. But oh my God, she walked so slowly that I was just like, that's completely fake. There's no way she would walk that slowly, and for me it was clear that she was faking her illness, and she was faking it as much as possible because she was trying to get her daughter to be a carer, and she was trying to get two carers basically. I don't know what the disability allowances are, but I think there is one where you say you're completely incapable and you need carers basically every day of your life, and to me, that's what it felt like. To me, it felt like she just walked in here normally. Maybe she did have a bit of a limp. Maybe she was a bit old. Maybe she was a bit weak. And she just came in and was trying to completely exaggerate her claim, because not only did she want benefits for herself, she wanted benefits for her two children who were helping her. And it angers me because when I know this world, if you knew the world was full of liars and full of people who maybe do have a disability, maybe do need a bit of extra help, but for them to just like exaggerate it into an extent where you start getting other people helping you and saying that you need cleaners and stuff like this when really you don't. I mean, if you can't walk around and do much, then do you really need cleaners? Okay, yes, you do need probably like a dishwasher or something, but a dishwasher is a lot cheaper than having a regular carer that comes and cleans your dishes like 3 hours I think it was twice a week or something, 3 hours for twice a week. But yeah, it's just, I feel like there's so many people here that just completely take the piss. And also there's something really strange going on with that George made some sort of molestation against my mum for trying to deliver a present. And this molestation order has been going on for years, and apparently they keep telling her, oh, it's going to be next week, it's going to be next month, and then they get her to come in, and then when she comes in, they say, oh, it's been cancelled, did you not get the message? No, she didn't. She doesn't check her emails, and I don't even know if they send emails, and they might have not even told her. So very bad mismanagement, but it's happened about 3 times. So she's literally gone to a court, which is one was in Wimbledon, which is about an hour away from her. I think one was about 40 minutes away. And 3 times I think she's been turned away because they've cancelled it and not told her, but they've taken it off another month. And some of these ones she actually had lots of other things to do and almost cancelled or did cancel for it. I mean, I think some of them she actually called up the day before to find out. I don't know what's going on, but that's annoying to think that things like this are being paid for by the government. My mum is not talking to George. She has not had any communication whatsoever with George except for the one time when they were at court fighting for custody, and George came to sit next to her and she said, are you happy now during it? I don't know if there's any more to that. Maybe she's given me a smaller version of the story. My mum does talk a lot, so it might be a case that she said a bit more than that and she's just trying to play it down. But still, he sat next to her, and this argument shouldn't, putting molestation orders on, it should be if someone's a danger or a threat to someone. Everything. I would love to create a society where I tell everyone that If you are doing a job that's being paid for by taxpayers, you must do a job that actually helps the community. Now, if someone is said, you know, that person is a danger to me and I want a molestation order, fine. You know, it's your duty to help the community, and the community needs to know that if someone starts stalking them, if someone starts harassing them, that there is something in place that will protect them and help them. You know, this helps the community. But what? This person's a danger to me. Why? Because 3 years ago she gave a toy to her grandchild, who I'm refusing to let her see. I'm refusing to let this granny see her grandchild, and I've been doing it for 3 years. But 3 years ago she came to my house after the molestation had been placed, but had been put on her, a molestation that I don't think should have been put on her, because I think she did fight it. My sister didn't fight it at the beginning because she thought it would only be for 6 months, and it turned into 2 years, and she doesn't even know how that happened. And she's not competent, so I understand that. But my mum has been desperate to see these children, and she really wanted to see these children, and I don't understand what's going on with George, because he seems to just be moaning and moaning and moaning, and as far as I'm aware, he's blocked her. So there's no way she can contact him. She has not been showing up at his door, and therefore, what is all this about? You know, if you're working in some sort of court and you're wasting time with people who haven't seen the person that they're supposed to be blocked from for 4 years, and if there's some sort of dispute that keeps going on, booking another appointment, and it's been going on for years, where most of them are cancelled, and you're just basically wasting time by booking appointments that are just going to be cancelled. And then when you do come and have the meeting, she spends about 3 hours listening to all these other people talk about stuff, and yet when it comes to her case, they just say, okay, when's the next date? I mean, what the fuck is this? What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I have no idea what this court case is, but it's annoying to think that things like this are being paid for tax money. You know, it's because of things like this, and I don't know what else is going on in the courts, but because of things like this, I think, losing my voice, I think the government is not spending their tax money correctly. I think the government are stupid, and they're just assuming that the population is smart, and that, you know, you can give money to courts and they'll spend the money properly, but they're not. People are not spending money properly. They're getting money from the taxpayer, and they're not caring about what they're actually doing, or if what they're doing is actually helping the community. How is keeping someone who's not spoken to someone for 3 years, trying to give a toy to them 3 years ago, and maybe they met once in court and she said a couple of words, are you happy now? You know, I'm sure he wouldn't have been very happy by that, but he was happy because he got full custody. My sister got absolutely nothing. My mum got absolutely nothing. And okay, she is a little bit mad, so I can kind of understand why he would want her out of the life, because that's kind of how I'm feeling about if I had children. But at the same time, she's not a danger to anyone. She's not posing a threat to him. This is not helping the community. You spending taxpayers' money to keep my mum from going near George, but it's not just going near George. It's to keep her going into court every single month, to have a meeting that says nothing other than when the next court is. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? How the hell is that helping the community? I think it's people being so stupid that they can't figure out if their job is helping the community or not. And I don't think they care. I think people are so stupid and so dumb and so stupid and it's so heartless that they don't care if their job is helping the community or not. They just want to have a job, and maybe they're just making up jobs. They're just inventing jobs. Okay, there is not enough stalkers in England, so we're going to find people like my mum and just say that because this George wants to call her a stalker, you know, we're going to say that she is a stalker, and therefore we're going to put this system in place where we can try and make money out of the system. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing, because I know that's what social services are doing. Social services do not have enough kids on their book, and they know that the more kids they have on their books, the more money they're going to get from the government through taxpayers' money. So they're trying to get as many kids as possible and get rid of all the family members who can look after the children, so that they can have more kids on their book. The doctors do that, hospital patients. You know, I know in America it's the opposite way around, and I think they aren't helping them enough because there's a lot of crazy people in America. But at the same time, I feel like if you give doctors a huge amount of money, they might take advantage of this, and they might start, you know, if you're giving someone a counseling session, it's always best to focus on the positive side. Okay, something bad happened to you, but what did you learn from it? How has it affected you? But in a positive way. How has it made you a better person? Has it made you a stronger person? If you focus on counseling like this, then you'll find that someone's depression level actually comes out of depression, and they become a lot smarter, and they might not need drugs, and they might not need anything that you're going to give to them. But I feel like doctors, if given the opportunity to take advantage of their clients, they might focus on the negative. And if any doctor that's stupid would talk to me about all my problems, they're going to 100% think that I'm depressed, and they're probably 100% they're likely to think that I'm insane or mad because of my beliefs. But in reality, by doing that, they're just going to anger me, make me feel more worse, and then they're going to use anything that I say as evidence that they need to treat me, or maybe need to section me or something like this. I am highly suicidal, and I know if I start talking about my suicidal thoughts to a doctor, they will use that as a way of trying to put me in some sort of facility where they can make money out of me. I know if I was in America, that wouldn't happen. That's because America are not allowing people to. But I think there is a little bit of an imbalance. In England, they're giving it way too much money to doctors, and this might help them to, or encourage them to take advantage of their clients, make them think about the negatives. And believe me, being told that there's something wrong with your brain and that you're never going to be healed or get better is like one of the worst things that ever happened. Someone did that to me when I was at uni. I was doing like tennis, trampolining and cheerleading. Well, actually, what was I doing cheerleading at that point? No, circus skills was the third one. And there might have been something else as well, climbing. So I was just doing like every single day. I had loads of things, and I had the uni to go, and I was starting to drink as well. And someone told me that I sounded like I had mania, and that there was something wrong with my brain, and that I was going to have this for the rest of my life. And oh my God, I felt so much worse after that. If people have mental illness, being told by a doctor that you've got something wrong with your brain, that I don't know, there's something chemical imbalance inside your head, and that you're never going to change, it really does affect you massively. And I felt so much worse after I saw that guy. And he was staring at me like my uncle. He was staring at me in the same way that my uncle was. And I started saying that I think you've got bipolar because you look exactly like my uncle. And I do think he did. I think he was reflecting all his problems onto me. And he couldn't see it. And I don't know why the university employed him. I don't know how he got in. I think he studied mental illness because he thought he had mental illness in him, and he was studying it not because he wanted to help others, but because he wanted to help himself. But once he'd got this sort of a degree in mental illness, he was using it to help others. But I think when he came to me, I have this thing where people like to insult me with all the things that's wrong with them, but try and accuse me of having it. And this happens all the time, and I think that's what he was doing. He was taking all the things that was wrong with him and then trying to put it on me just because I was stressing out. And because I was stressing out, it sounded a little bit believable. It was only when I went to another doctor then they said that I was just overworked and that I need to just stop doing what I'm doing for a few weeks and calm down and relax. I guess meditation helps and stuff. So and then after I did that for a week, I actually got very bored and went back to my normal standard. But I felt so much better afterwards. But having that experience made me feel like there are a lot of people that might be taken advantage of by doctors or mentally ill. Mental ill specialists are worse, I think, because if someone's not acting right, it's easy to say that there's something wrong with their brain, but we don't know, because I think there's so little fully known about mental illness that a doctor can say anything and you don't really know because it hasn't actually been figured. I mean, I do believe that mental illness is mostly caused by stupidity, and autism as well as a social disorder, but I think some of it could be like something you've experienced in a past life and a subconscious memory, so I think that can be part of it. But yes, stupidity is another one, not being smart enough to come up with intelligent things to say. Worry as well could be, not wanting to say the wrong thing. So there's loads of different reasons why autism could come. But because you don't actually know the root cause, I mean, I do, but because you don't believe in reincarnation and because you might not believe what I'm saying in the sense that, my sister's autistic, but really I think it's stupidity. And her lack of caring towards what other people say. A lot of people wouldn't want to accept that. They'd say, oh, that's harsh. You can't say that about your sister. That's nasty. And I think because of that, they'll just deny what I'm saying is the truth. And and then they'll just say, oh, it's something else, we just haven't figured out what it is yet. And wrong wiring, that's what I had, wrong wiring in her brains. No, I don't think so. I mean, I know learning disorder is a development stage, but technically, I always wonder, it's sometimes if a learning disorder's happened, is there a spiritual cause? If a soul is born into a body that's not really meant to be human, but the human population is going massive, and sometimes this happens, maybe an unformed brain could be a result, as in this matrix. But I think the matrix chooses probably after a certain time, so I don't know about that. But there's some things that I don't know, and there's a lot of things that doctors don't know. And if you don't know something, it's easier to just make up an excuse and then start saying, oh, we have the solution, drugs. And oh, why? Because we can sell lots of drugs. And my uncle was getting 40 drugs a day, so I think that was completely unnecessary. And England have helped mentally ill people way too much, but if you're giving someone 40 drugs a day, you're not supposed to be living off 40 drugs a day. And therefore, I just think that whatever they were doing, they were taking advantage of this power that they were given by the government, and with America, I think they're underpaying it. Although housing in America is very, very expensive, so I am wondering, why is housing so expensive? One of the reasons could be that you have huge long waits for planning permission. So when you want to build a house, you have to get planning permission, and it can take years, I've been told. That's definitely going to increase the value of the house, because time is money, and a lot can happen in a few years, and you don't want to spend £100,000 on a property only to find that you have to wait 2 years to build it. I mean, that is going to cost you money because you've had to wait so long to do this, and the planning itself might cost money. That is very, very badly organized. Tax money should be going to spend the whole community, and if house prices are rising up too much, it's because there's more people being born and not enough houses being made. So either you have a better solution on how to build houses faster and quicker, so not waiting years. It's good though to have some planning, because you can't just build anywhere, everywhere. There has to be some sort of order, it has to look pretty, and it has to be safe, so you do need inspectors. But yeah, they need to come up with a more efficient way of doing things. But yeah, if people are struggling to pay for a bigger house, you must give them less, and you can't just say because they're poor we need to give them more. No, that's it. Tax money should not be about taking from the rich and giving to the poor. It should be about taking from the working and giving to the community, so that everyone, poor or rich, I'm sure the rich people won't want to go to Butlins, but that's their choice, if that's their choice. But if they do want to go to Butlins, well, it's there as an option. If something does happen, the house burns down, they find themselves with nothing, they can go to Butlins. And that's the nice thing about something that's, if you're helping the whole community, that's what tax money should go on. And I think if you program people to think this way, am I being paid by the private sector? If I'm being paid by the private sector, then I can do whatever I want, because obviously I'm being paid. Okay, you might be a counsellor that charges £300 an hour. Maybe your service is way overcharged and way not worth it. But if someone else is paying you that much money, then whatever, you can charge whatever you want, because you're not using that off the taxpayer. If that's private, then you can charge what you want. And these people are probably super rich. There's probably a ton of people that work and earn huge amounts of money, but they can only do it if their mind is okay. Hence they want to pay a decent amount to get a proper counsellor, so that they can think properly, so that they can work properly. I know my autistic friend does have a good job. Well, his parents own a company, and he can help out a lot, and he can make quite a lot of money, but he feels so depressed sometimes that he just can't work. And I feel like if he spends money on a proper counselling service or something to help motivate him or help lift his spirits or help, it's a lot of money. He was thinking of going on some sort of I don't know what it was, some sort of course that would help him. To me, I would not spend that much money at all on something like that. But if him spending that much money on it helps him to work better and helps him to make thousands throughout the year, then it does work out to be a profit, and it does help him. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of thing that you can go to that he's not an alcoholic or anything, but he's I think he's gone through depression, so I think it was something to help him get out of depression. I wouldn't spend £16,000 on getting out of depression, because it was like a £16,000 course. I would not spend that kind of money on a course. But that's only because I know how much money I can make, and I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to spend more money on fixing my brain if the money that I earn is going to be far less than what it costs to fix my brain. I'd rather just stay in misery. But yeah, that's how I work. I think about how much money I can make, and then I spend according to what I've made that year. And the reason why I do have money in the bank, but because I'm trying to buy a bigger house, bigger share of my sister's house, and I've been wanting to do that for years. I don't want to spend like that's my money. I want to spend like that's not my money, and that's the money that's used to buy the second part of. I can actually buy 60% of it, which means that I've been making £6,000 a year. So once I know that I'm earning £6,000 a year through the rent money, then I'd feel more encouraged to spend because I know I'm earning. So this is how an economy works: you earn, you spend, you earn, you spend. But yeah, when you've got huge amounts of people that are just inventing jobs or saying things like, oh, this baby's in danger, let's take the child away, and then let's stick it in 100,000 or huge amounts, hugely expensive foster care that's also being paid from nurseries and holidays, and then you've got lawyers and then about 6 people doing different things, and then like 3 different councils that are all doing different tests, and they were literally trying to just get anyone on a test to try and test. They were trying to get my sister to say any name, even if it was just some randomer that she met online. Any name, give me any name, and we'll give that person a test. But I felt like they were only doing it because they wanted to make money off doing the test, and then all these stupid meetings. Doesn't benefit that. And there's a lot of things that just don't benefit you. It benefits to know that if there's a stalker, there's a place that can prevent this. But if you've got evidence that person isn't a stalker, then making them go into court every few months to just book another appointment where they have to go into court. How is that benefiting how is that benefiting the community? So, if I was to create a world, I would encourage people to think for themselves and ask themselves, is this what I'm doing that I'm being paid to do by the taxpayer? Is this actually benefiting the community, or is it just benefiting me because I can get a job out of it? If it's just benefiting you because you can get a job out of it, then really you need to go and find a different job, one that actually pays. It's nice to do work and know that you're actually getting paid for something that someone's paying you. If it's a private thing, I mean, there are some jobs I have to admit that I didn't think rockets would be that interesting. I know nothing about rockets, but yeah, the idea of spending billions of pounds just to watch a rocket shoot up into space and then explode, it's just like, I'd rather watch a duck quack, and that's far more cheaper. But yeah, if though the point of the rockets is to get satellites in there, satellites that help monitor the weather, or I have no idea what the satellites do. There's like an internet. I didn't even know you could. It was the satellites that help create the Starlink internet. I don't really know anything about it, but yeah, some things I don't know, like Oracle as well. I didn't even know what Oracle was, other than that woman from the Matrix. But apparently that's supposed to be like a big AI company. I still have no idea what it does, but if I knew what it does, maybe I would see the benefit of it. So there's loads of different companies that have a huge benefit to the public, but I don't really know like how, or I don't know the details. So there's this, but if you're doing things like this and it's helping the population, and then it's a proper economy. But yeah, if what you're doing is not helping and it's just annoying people and winding people up and it's not a real economy that you're creating. It's a false economy based on getting people to lie about the importance of their work. Social services is an important thing, and fostering kids is important. But yeah, if you're fostering kids away from people who can look after kids, then you're not helping the community. How is Leo being in an expensive foster care better than being with me? Okay, it might be slightly different because I'm God and I'm trying to do lots of other things spiritually, and depression is something that's been caused by it because no one's helping me. But I'd probably be far less depressed if I was looking after a child because I feel like I belong here. And so has that really helped the community? No, I think it hasn't. I think it's just made me want to kill the community more. So you haven't helped the community by putting that child into foster care, and so it's just it's complicated, and I don't understand why the world is being so cruel to me, other than to just make me depressed and make me complain about a billion different things. Really the main reason why I'm complaining is because everyone's ignoring me. But yeah, because I keep saying that and still people are ignoring me, I feel like I just keep trying to find other things that I don't agree with, and the list is very, very long. But it's true that I don't actually know the details about where it all goes. But